want to talk with you briefly, and I want to talk to you specifically about making a commitment towards mastery. And I feel this is something that is so important, especially today, because there are so many of us who we have gotten accustomed to this clickbait life, this microwave lifestyle, and we expect somehow that things are going to happen like this for us. But mastery is something that does require patience, and it does require diligence. And if it's a case where you want to be successful in any endeavor of your life, if you want to get to the highest level in your career, I don't know about you, but for me, I very well intend to take it all the way. And so if you want to be amongst the top 5%, top 1% in your industry, it is going to take some diligent and consistent work. It's going to require a commitment to mastery. I have personally made that decision for myself to commit myself to mastery, and I'm hoping that you too will do the same. In the beautiful and wonderful book, The Slight Edge, which I strongly recommend if you have not yet read this book. I feel Jeff Olson has just done an amazingly remarkable job in putting this piece of content together. It's one of the best pieces of content that I have read, and believe me, I read a whole lot because I study every day. In his book, he speaks about this gentleman, Malcolm Gladwell, who speaks about in his book, so Gladwell in his book speaks about what is called the 10,000 hour rule. And what basically that speaks about is committing 10,000 hours to your respective craft. It is believed, based on his assessment after looking at other persons who have done extremely well in their respective fields, it has been basically found that these persons would have spent roughly 10,000 hours to get to the top of their field. And so the question today pointed at you is, are you willing to commit 10,000 hours towards attaining your dream at the highest level? For me, that is an absolute yes, because what else are you going to be doing at the time anyways? Chances are you're going to be wasting it doing other things that are not so important. But if you commit this time to mastery, then this is going to be a ripple effect in your family. There are people's lives who are going to be so immensely blessed, so immensely touched, because you would have followed through with your dream for your life. And as I think of that, I think about Miles Monroe, because yesterday I made a post with a video with Miles Monroe, and I was just so grateful. I remember just watching the video, and I was just so grateful for his life. And in the caption, I was pretty much saying, I am so grateful that you, and I was speaking to Miles even though he was gone, but I'm so grateful that you lived your life in purpose, that he said yes to the call of God and his life, and he walked in the will of God. So today there are others of us who are living today who we are able to benefit from his great knowledge. And that's the type of life I want to live. I want to live the type of life that when I have left here, because we all have a small time here, but when we would have left here, that I would have done work that will benefit generations and generations to come. That I would have so worked on me, I would have so developed me, I would have worked on my skill sets, that I would get to the point in my influence where I'm able to truly impact lives on a massive level. And so that's the plan I have for my life. And I'm hoping that you too will make such a commitment for your life as well. Because think about what that will do for your family. Think about how you being massively successful will impact your life and will impact the generations to come. So it goes beyond you just having a nice house and having a nice car and you being on yachts and private jets and you name it, all the amazing things that a lot of us want to experience. But it goes beyond all of that. It goes now into your generation, beyond you, your children and your children's children and your children's children's children. What kind of legacy do you want to leave for them? And so I feel it is just so important that as you are building yourself, especially if you're an entrepreneur, then you are really working on leaving a massive legacy here. And I just felt this piece by Gladwell was such a solid pointer. 10,000 hours committed to going to the top of your industry. I think it's more than worth it. And this is what Gladwell had to say about it. He said, if you put in 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for 5 years, that's 10,000 hours. So you're looking at 5 years of putting in 8 hours a day. So if you put in for 5 years, roughly 8 hours a day into your craft, it may be more than likely, what the data has showed is that you are going to be within the top 1% in your industry. I feel that is a very good trade. I don't know about you, but 5 years from now, where will you be if you don't make this commitment to mastery? It's a big decision to make, and you have to be conscious about whether or not you're making it. Because the sad thing is, a lot of persons are not conscious that they're actually making a decision in terms of how they're going to spend their next 5 years. I pray that in the next 5 years, 5 years from today, you'd have seen major transformations in your life. I sat and I looked back at 5 years ago in my own life, and there's just so much transformation that I've experienced, so much growth. And I'm excited to see what the next 5 years are going to look like. And if you're pretty young, now is the perfect time to start. If you're not so young, now is the absolute perfect time to start. There is no better time than today. So I implore you to commit yourself to mastery. Decide that you are going to go after it with the absolute best that you can, and just give it your best. Give it your best shot. Well, one of my favorite scriptures, and I have so many favorites, so sometimes you may hear me say one of my favorite scriptures I have. The Bible is just so amazing. So there's just so many amazing scriptures that I hold so dearly. But one of my favorite speaks to doing everything you do as though you're working for the Lord. And so if you're doing something as though you're working for the Lord, I would want to believe that you are going to give it your absolute best. And so today I say to you, do your absolute best, commit yourself to mastery, commit the time, whatever disciplines are necessary, commit to learning these disciplines, commit to putting the effort in, because when you look back at your life, you do not want to regret how you would have spent your time here. You want your children and your grandchildren to be absolutely proud of what you would have done here. When I look at my son and I look at my nieces and my nephews, I just see sometimes they look at auntie and they look at mommy with awe. That's a beautiful thing for me. My son, for one, he knows I'm no loafer. And so I don't expect him to be a loafer either. One of the things that I'm always saying to our parents when I'm at graduations, when I'm either emceeing or I'm the guest speaker for the graduations, it is so much unfair that we want to ask of our children that we give excellence when we do not give the same. So I'm going to implore you that you seek to give excellence that you seek to master your respective area, committing yourself to mastery, committing yourself to becoming one of the best in your space. And of course, it is going to take some time. And you expect that nothing good is going to happen overnight. But if you are committed, for one, you have to make that decision. So what I'm hoping for today is that you would have made that commitment, made that decision. And once you have made that decision, that commitment, then you now move ahead and you do what is necessary to make your dreams come true. Again, it is not for you. Sure, you get to enjoy the benefits of having accomplished an amazing dream as well, but it goes way beyond you. There are people's lives that you're going to touch that you will never meet. I never got the chance to meet Miles Monroe. He died before I even got into the space of personal development. But I have learned so much from him. And there are so many others that are no longer with us that I have learned immensely from. There's Bob Proctor. So though he went probably a year or two ago, and I did get the chance to sit in with him on a number of things that he did. But nonetheless, there are persons that we will never get the chance to physically meet. And there are some that we will never be able to meet because they would have died. But they left such impact here because they worked on themselves. They committed themselves to mastery. And as a result of that, we get the chance to benefit from what they would have done. Let us also make that commitment that we too are going to be masters of our craft, so that we can influence the next generation and we can leave a massive impact. So that's it for me today. I'm off to prepare dinner and enjoy my Sunday. So I want to wish you a phenomenal rest of the day. This is Coach Chris saying to you, write your own destiny. Bye.